Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chartwise Women with Erin Swenlin and Mary Ellen McGonagle. Welcome to our Thursday, September 17th show. Mary Ellen and I are here to educate, engage, and most importantly, empower you to take control of your investments. So welcome, Mary Ellen. I would say that
Yes.
lockdown is continuing in a lot of the country, and I don't know about you, but I think we're finding that there's a new sector, if you will, of quarantine stocks, home improvement stocks.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. People are feathering their nest, as I like to say,
Yes,
getting comfortable within their four walls.
right. And granted,
Um,
the market's a little bit uncomfortable right now, but we're going to try and talk about comfort stocks, as today is going to be all about home sweet home. So
yes.
yeah, I think it's going to be fun. So get prepared because we're going to probably be throwing tons of stocks out at you. I know I have quite a few, Mary Ellen,
Yes,
and
indeed.
expect you do too.
I'm armed.
Armed and ready.
You got
All
it.
right, well,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and we'll start off with our home sweet home and our wisdom of the week. So, oh, that's nice. Solar panels. I know that actually is a pretty interesting part of the market right now.
Absolutely. Alternative energy has just been on fire, and it's not just solar panels, it's trucks and using alternative energy to power trains and everything else. Yeah.
Sure. All right, well, let's go ahead and move to our wisdom of the week. And mine, I'll start off with mine, and
Hmm.
that is we can find comfort and insight, of course, by investing in the stocks that we know. And it's about being comfortable, having an idea of what their product's about. And by knowing that, it gives you a little bit more insight into what you're investing in. So there's nothing wrong with going back and forth to those stocks where you find comfort because you're knowledgeable.
Yeah, and mine is invest in companies whose products you admire. And that might sound really simple, but I'll tell you, it is, Erin, we've talked about this before. Peter Lynch, it's one of his tenets that in fact, years ago, I taught a class on stock investing to my children's grade school. And I just said simply, it was in the 90s, what are your favorite stores? And it was Abercrombie and Coach and all those big retailers. And our team won. There were 1,000. This is a total sidebar, but there were sorry, there were 1,000 teams that participated, and we were in the top two. Anyway, and it
Nice.
was all using that premise: products that you admire, you use, and you see the stores are crowded, and others also use it as well. So.
Absolutely. All right, well, we're going to start right off. Let's talk about home improvement. I think this has been a spot where we've definitely seen some interesting moves. And again, given the quarantine and the whole feathering the nest, as you said. So I thought it would be great. Let's look at a few places in home improvement. And I'm going to share my screen just to start off with drilling down. And this is actually a concept rather than a stock. So, but I think it really is going to be relevant to what we're doing today as a way for you to find those areas and stocks that you like. So drilling down means starting with your sectors and finding out where the strength is in your sectors. Or as we're doing today, going in and finding those industry groups where you have an interest, where you have some knowledge, where you have some understanding of what's going on. So this is our industry summary. So once you find kind of that area that you're interested in, and I would say one, we're talking home improvement. So I will just go straight here to home improvement retailers. And it gives us that list of what's out there. And there are other programs out there that will help you do this. But that's one way for us to get in here and then find some of the stocks that we want within this group. And so I'm just going to go in and we'll look at Home Depot. Home Depot's been getting a lot of press during this quarantine time. So let's go ahead and look at their chart. And then I'm going to pass it to you, Mary Ellen, to pick
Hmm.
which you would like to look at. So here's Home Depot. Obviously, we're seeing a lot of decline amongst most of the stocks today. It's a down day. It's not really pleasant. So a lot of the stocks we're going to look at might be showing some decline. But overall, I mean, this stock has been very strong in terms of just really the personality right now, as we talk about. It's been above that 50-day EMA in this case, and you're seeing a nice steady up move. Right now, I don't like the looks of things. I don't like the looks of things in the market. This is a little concerning to me because we're looking like we're getting a little bit of a rounded top here and maybe even a double top, but we'll have to see. At this
Yeah.
point, I just would be a little concerned. I'd be watching that 50-day EMA very closely because you can see here over in this thumbnail, momentum, while it was shifting upward, looked really great, all of a sudden has just turned right back down. So
Yeah, that is interesting because Home Depot just reported record quarterly earnings and sales, and they
wow.
just blew the doors off. And to see it not having that carry through is just more indication that the quarantine play, if you will, is just drifting and has lost its impact, really its
Right,
power. I'm
right.
uh, shall I go ahead
Yeah,
and
go for it.
yeah, I thought I would share a stock that was a huge winner out of this bear market, and it was everything to do with people improving their homes and trying to have it more comfortable and look better. This is Wayfair, ticker symbol W. They are solely an online, so their online retail sales, and we can see, I'm going to go ahead and pull up a weekly here just to really emphasize how significant of a move this particular stock did. It just shot right out, uh, really doing well as far as their sales numbers and so forth. Again, a lot of people, they do furniture. You can purchase mattresses and all kinds of, it's all home related. But let's take a look because this particular stock did start to falter prior to the broader markets. And so really, I just want to show you what to be on the prowl for if you are looking to enter a stock such as Wayfair. We can see the stock did break down by falling below these simple moving averages. I have a 10, a 21 day. Once it breaks that 50 day, from my work, you are better served to exit, particularly if you are a shorter term uh, investor. And we can also see the RSI broke down below this net neutral in line with that break below the 50-day. And then we did have this early MACD, moving average convergence divergence. This is a momentum indicator. Your first warning shot across the bow, if you will, is this black line crossing down below the red. Now, it doesn't mean you need to exit. It's happened here before, but once this MACD breaks down below this 0, and you can marry that with these other negative indicators, that's telling you that the stock is poised potentially for more downside. For that re-entry, you're going to want to see the stock break back above these simple moving averages in line with that RSI and MACD turning positive. So that would be eventually on the prowl for that downtrend reversal.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I've got an interesting stock here. I was thinking, home improvement. I wanted to do this, but I haven't gotten approval. But it's to build a she shed.
Oh, yes.
I mean, my husband has somewhat of a man cave in the garage. I mean, it's not outfitted, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
but I thought the idea of a she shed would be just fantastic.
Yeah.
So as part of that, Generac Holdings is building materials company, but one of the things that they do are generators for the house, home generators. And
Oh.
if I had a she shed, I'd certainly want to have a generator so that I could have all of my comforts, if you will, over there with so I can do my knitting and I could
Oh, I
do
thought you were going to say your blender.
my blender. Yeah, no, all I need is a wine opener. I'll be all right. So right here is Generac, and like I said, they do generators for the home. I know that's one of their products, and you can see that it really did make a nice move coming out of that March bottom, almost in a parabolic manner, just about. It never really got into a vertical move, so I wouldn't call it that. But you can see we had this correction move down. Didn't even have to go down to the 50-day to test support. So I thought that was positive, and you are seeing a move to the upside. Now, granted, today we are down, but again, a lot of the stocks we're going to look at are. But this 20-day EMA makes this one pretty interesting. And then you can see also that positive RSI. We're not getting the change in momentum yet. And for me, I'm a momentum trader. So I typically am going to wait to see momentum either decelerating, looking like it's going to turn, because that gives me more confidence in what I'm looking at and what I'm buying. So this is kind of one of the reasons I haven't been entering positions in the market for the past week and a half, just because it's been so uncomfortable.
Yeah, just not, the trend is not your friend right now. And I'm wondering with this particular company, whether the recent uptrend here might be hurricane related or something of that nature.
Absolutely. It's hard to
Yeah.
say.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely send my prayers and support out there
Mm.
to all those who are suffering through the hurricane and all that's going along with it. I do have family in Alabama, so it has been a little dicey for
Mm.
them, and
Mm.
flooding and that sort of thing. So
Just adding it to the list for 2020.
yes, absolutely. All right, so why don't we go into home comforts? And what I mean by home comforts would be, furniture, the things that you do to make your home more comfortable, maybe flooring. And of course, if we're talking about comfort, it would have to be comfort food. So we have to look at some of those as well. Do you want to start off?
You bet. Yeah. So within this, I was going to bring up a very high-end retailer that also they just came out with superior numbers. We can take a quick look. It's Restoration Hardware. It is higher end as far as not only quality, but their pricing. And so here is that gap up on earnings. Now, what I like about this stock is subsequent to that, it's really only pulled back nominally. You really wouldn't know what was going on as far as the more severe pullback in the broader markets. So it's holding in just remarkably well. The company not only reported very strong numbers, their outlook management CEO talked about going forward. They are anticipating this strong growth to continue. So very attractive looking, and we had that nice momentum, positive crossover, black line up through the red on that MACD. And it is a little bit overbought here with the RSI, but we can go back historically and see that it can retain a presence up there and still manage to do quite well. So that was certainly one name that caught my eye, and I've shopped there periodically. It's not a go-to place for me, but they really do have some lovely comfort making goods for your
I've
home.
heard too that their stores are very interesting and fun to go into,
Yes,
rather than just, you're straight up going to Home Depot and there's everything there, right?
they have actually in Chicago, New York, they have full-on restaurants within their store. And so it's outfitted with goods that you can purchase if you like, but it's centered around these restaurants. Warren Buffett is a big investor in Restoration Hardware as well.
Hmm,
Yeah, and they,
excellent.
I can
All
go
right.
on,
Well,
of
I'm going to
course.
pull up for me Mohawk Furnishings, and I know that they do flooring. And I have to say, when I pulled this chart up, I was really pleased with the look of this chart. I mean, we've got a nice rising trend that we have been in. You can see how that 20-day EMA had crossed above the 50, confirming that rally to the upside. Look at the momentum. We even came down here. We did pull back, but we never had a sell signal on my PMO, meaning the negative crossover that would have given us a mechanical sell signal. But it came down, managed to avoid that, and is heading straight back up and has now gotten above its 200-day EMA. The RSI is positive, not totally overbought, just starting to get there. And look at the scooter. So that tells you that
Yeah.
there's internal strength in the short and intermediate term, but it also has relative strength when you compare this stock to the other large caps in its universe up
And I
here. So I
Yeah.
like this one. I think it's looking good.
And I agree. I always am intrigued by stocks. This one's up 3% on a day where the rest of the market is suffering for the most part. And that's always going to be of interest to me in the sense that when the market pressures lift, you can anticipate the stock to trade higher, of course, depending on the news, why it is. But yeah, picked a good one there.
Absolutely. Since I have it, I'll just do one and then I'll pass it to you and we can go into break. This is Campbell Soup Company. And of course, they did very well coming out of that March low as a quarantine type stock. But it really did go back to its consumer staples, you know, characteristics, meaning mostly sideways movement, not too many huge losses. Now, this was pretty interesting. And, you know, we had the big breakdown anyway that we had that early in that part of September. But now we have a reverse flag. So I have to say, I mean, this would not be a comfort stock for me right now.
Mm-hmm.
The RSI at least is oversold and maybe is rising. But as you can see, we really need that momentum to start shifting. It's already decelerating just a bit now that it's consolidating.
Okay, and I'll just share one very quickly before we go into break. This is another comfort food stock. It's the J.M. Smucker Company,
Oh,
peanut
yum.
butter and jelly. It is the #1 sandwich in the United States. And it was an initial big winner out of this bear market. A little sloppy here, but this is a daily price chart. Since then, it did give the appearance of being poised to break out of a nice multi-month base, but in fact, it faltered. And here again is that break below that 50-day RSI, MACD, both are negative. So not so comforting as the stock chart goes. So
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, that's the first part of the show. We're going to take a quick break and then we're going to come back with family time and the home office. Okay, we are back. And now, as we were talking about, our theme for today is home sweet home stocks, you know, finding the comfort and using the stocks and products around you. I'm sorry, the products around you in your home to help you, you know, get some insight on possible stock buys. And so we're looking at various areas of that home sweet home area. And the next one is up is family time. Do you want to start with something? I'm thinking travel, toys, TV, that sort of thing.
oh, you bet. Let me go ahead and grab the screen. There's another stock that was a big winner out of this bear market and the previous bear market, and it's faltering a bit here. This is Netflix. We're looking at a daily price chart. You can see this nice expansive move as people in lockdown are looking to be entertained and a lot of family time, people enjoying movies and shows together. Unfortunately, this is in line with a lot of these mega cap FANG stocks. They are falling out of favor. We can see the RSI, MACD is negative with a break below that 10-day simple moving average. I was going to just pull up one other one because I feel as if we're showing an awful lot of here are names that don't look
I
particularly
know,
good.
right?
Okay, this is a turnaround attempt that's not particularly taking, it's AMC, the movie theater company. Movie theaters are beginning to open. We did have that potential downtrend reversal, but unfortunately it too is faltering. So
Well, might find some support there on that 200-day.
you bet,
Could be interesting.
you bet, yeah.
All right. I have Big Five Sporting
And your
Goods.
MACD is positive.
Yep. Okay, I have Big Five Sporting Goods, and this one I thought actually is starting to improve and look interesting. We've come down to that 50-day EMA on Big Five. We didn't even need to go down to test it. in total. So there's still that space. So that's a nice place to see a turnaround. You can see in the thumbnail here that the momentum is starting to shift. Like I said, I'm a momentum trader. I prefer for it to already be pointing upward before I get in. So this might be one I would watch list. You can see the RSI is now moving positive. If I drew in a declining tops trend line here, I suspect we're just about ready to get a breakout from that declining trend. And looking at volume coming in has been strong. You can see rising bottoms here. And then of course that scooter, 99.3, that's pretty hard to beat.
Yeah, that looks great. A discounting sporting goods store.
Exactly. All right, I'll look at some toys. Unfortunately, like you said, that I don't know about this one. This isn't looking so great. I mean, it's not bad. The problem is that it's just a, go nowhere type of stock, which is kind of interesting being in consumer discretionary. I know a lot of times you can get some good moves here, but you can see the 200-day EMA is posing some big problems here for resistance. But we are getting that momentum shift to the upside, and the RSI has just moved into positive territory. So it might be an opportunity here to get that breakout above that 200, but just be aware that, previously it hasn't been able to. The last time it did, it couldn't hold up. So it could be an interesting play, but
Yeah, it looks a little sleepy right
a
here.
little sleepy. That's a very good
Oh my goodness. I'm going to share a company that is toys, if you will, for adults. And this is Tesla, TSLA, a daily price chart. And of course, their electric vehicles. The company has really been under accumulation here, had a very orderly pullback to this upward trending 50-day simple moving average. And we can see that the MACD had a negative signal, but it still remained positive. And with this week, it is defying the broader markets in the sense that it has broken back above its shorter term simple moving average. I'll go ahead and pull up a weekly very quickly to give another perspective, and the stock is up 14% this week, and it is again finding support. This is now a 10-week simple moving average, and it does certainly appear poised for more upside.
Excellent. Yeah, I do like that. And I have to say, yesterday it came up on my Diamond PMO scan.
Mm.
So I didn't talk about it, but it was interesting to see it show up on that scan. I haven't seen it on there for a while, but yeah, I don't know. This one's kind of a fad stock that I still wish I had invested in, but haven't yet.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I always am a little nervous about those.
Faster they go up, they can drop equally fast as well. So you need to
Exactly.
have those sell rules very firmly in
Yes.
place.
All right, well, let's go ahead and move to our next subject, and that would be the home office. And of course, we've all been finding ourselves within our home offices more than normal. Not for me, because that's always been my modus operandi, if you will. But there are a lot of people who are new to this, and now we're finding the need to certainly rely on certain areas for our home office that we never had to think about before. And it's very interesting. One of the things I have to say is I never, they ask what you want to be when you grow up. And it's interesting because I really wasn't sure. And, if I had told myself that this is what you're going to be doing, I mean, this job never even existed. We didn't, so it's interesting how we move through in life that way. But here's Zoom. I know this is one that has gotten quite a bit of attention. I think everybody's very familiar with it. But again, the 20-day EMA is working as support, hasn't even had to come down and test it for a while here. We got a pretty orderly pullback, and now we're starting to rally back out. I'm a little concerned because that momentum is starting to turn over a bit. And the RSI, though, is very positive, so it's hard to not like it, if you will. But this is a pretty interesting one, Zoom. I would hesitate to give it to my diamond readers just because it has had that positive momentum going for so long.
Very
What you
good.
got?
Yeah, so I know we're kind of coming down to the wire here, but I'm going to go ahead and share something that most people have as part of their office suite, if you will, and that's Microsoft. You have the tools that they offer as far as Word documents and cloud computing, so MSFT. And again, unfortunately, in line with those mega cap stocks, it has broken support. That's your 50-day simple moving average. Your RSI is negative, as is the MACD. So on a exit sell alert with that particular stock.
Excellent. Yeah, I do like that. That's a great one. It's, at this point, it is hitting that really interesting support there. So I'm going to be interested in seeing what happens here if we're actually going to start coming out of this, um, doldrums, if you will, the sideways action. And you can see it on Microsoft and you see it on a lot of stocks. It'll be interesting to look at.
Keep it on your screen. Okay, so now we are going to go into our segment, Erin.
Yes, yeah, that happened. You found a great story for this. Do tell.
Oh my gosh, I could not. I had a good chuckle on this one. TikTok, as many of you may know, it's a streaming online platform that allows individuals to create short videos that they share, and it's super, super popular, and particularly among, I will say, the younger crowd. But they did have a TikTok user or someone that was doing their video, and they were singing for everyone, and their mom crashed through the ceiling in the middle of the video. And it went viral. You can see the mom's legs just dangling behind the poor startled girl as she was trying to show off her singing skills. So anyway, yes, so from there, Erin, if you want to pull up, we can talk about TikTok has been in the news quite a bit because
Yes.
Trump is mandated that by the 15th, they sell to a company here in the US or else they were going to be banned. It is a Chinese-owned company, and there was fear of data from the US being taken
Advantage of,
you bet.
certainly. That whole situation, boy, we could talk a long time about it. But I've found it a really interesting, something we really haven't ever seen before with the president, stepping into the business like that. But here is Oracle, which was I guess is the suitor now. We had Microsoft in the mix, but now it looks like Oracle will come through with it. Right now they have a flag formation going on, and we are seeing support at that September top, which I think is positive. Look at the momentum. It's starting to really pick up here, and you've got a nice positive RSI. This could end up being a pretty nice entry point if we come back down here and, as we are today, start testing that top.
Yeah, another one that you might want to pull up, we already looked at Microsoft. They were one of the potential suitors, if you will, but we can take a look at Walmart because Walmart was they had partnered with Microsoft to go ahead together and pursue the purchase of TikTok. And Walmart is pulling back here, but take a look, it's up today. Again, I talked about that concept where stocks that are withstanding the broader market pressures, they're going to be of interest to me to take a look at, again, so that when those market pressures are lifted, you can anticipate a potential upside.
Right. And looking at this, there is some nice support right about where we're at. So if it's going to turn around, the 50-day EMA is right there. And this area of support is right here at about 130, looks like 134, 133, 50 area. So if it can find support right in here, I think it could be a really interesting takeoff point for Walmart. And, right now it's not looking quite as tasty, just given the way that the momentum is going.
Exactly. That big spike earlier in the month, earnings related.
I think we have to turn it off, but it has been great talking home sweet home with everybody. And we hope you have a great weekend and happy trading.
Hey, Grayson Rose here with StockCharts. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, consider giving it a like down below, maybe leave us a comment, and if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe at the link up above. We're gonna bring you daily content from an incredible collection of technical analysts and financial experts.